What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and only specific kinds of people could look at the latest Naughty Dog game whose trailer was unveiled last night and think that it was any good.
Hello!
You'd have to be a little bit fruity, a bit artsy-fartsy, to look at this game, which features a main character that they have made intentionally ugly. She starts the trailer off shaving her head, for cripe's sake, removing any hint of femininity, but anyhow, you'd have to be an art snob and or a complete PlayStation corporate ass-kisser in order to think this game looked appealing in any way. You'd think that Naughty Dog might have learned their lesson with The Last of Us 2 after selling way less copies than the original game with their LGBT shit that they shoved into it, which nobody wants, but apparently not. Now they're tackling lesbian space mercenaries, and the reception to this trailer is amazingly bad.
Oh, shit!
The trailer has been ratioed into oblivion, even though at the time of this recording, it's only been released for about half a day. But Naughty Dog knew what they were doing when they made this game. They knew that people would hate the design, which is why they disabled comments on their version of the trailer, because they are chicken shit cry bullies who want to shove their worldview at you in the most annoying way possible.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
When it comes to getting feedback, this is their response.
Triple stamp, double stamp, Lord! You can't triple stamp, double stamp! Lord!
But still, disabling comments doesn't stop us from hitting the dislike button and making sure they get ratioed into oblivion, which has happened on all three iterations of the trailer. PlayStation, Naughty Dog, and IGN all released this trailer on their channels, and all three of them got smashed with a ratio immediately. And over on the PlayStation channel, they forgot to disable the comments, and gamers are ripping them a new one.
You've killed me!
You have done that yourself!
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to refer to it as these days. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. But alright, let's talk about Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. And I gotta ask, who in the hell at Sony keeps approving these games? Concord, The Last of Us 2, and now this pile of dung. This is why I'm so concerned about Sony potentially purchasing Kadokawa and obtaining the Elden Ring so that the Elden Ring becomes a PlayStation franchise. Because these people can't be trusted not to try to pull crap like this. They are simply incapable of not shoving woke, ugly, girl boss characters down our throats like it's a medicine they feel they must feed us. Just like with Concord though, you get the feeling when watching this trailer that this game comes from a different era. This would have been pitched probably sometime around 2020, back when the world was a very different place. Woke shit was pervasive, it was everywhere, and it was at the height of its power because there were virtually zero safe platforms for people to speak up and fight against it. Wokeness, you see, requires an echo chamber to survive. It requires a little bubble where nobody is exposed to opposing ideas, otherwise it crumbles. This is why Naughty Dog disabled the comments on their video, by the way. They don't want their bubble to be pierced by folks who find their design unappealing. But anyhow, you can definitely tell this game was conceived of in 2020, just like with Abby in The Last of Us 2. You've got a gross-looking, muscular chick who's gonna show all the men how it's done. And needless to say, people find this unappealing. That's why The Last of Us 2 sold massively less copies than its predecessor. Was it still successful? Sure, but once again, 2020 was a very different time. We didn't have the organization against this stuff that we do now. Word spreads quickly when something like this is released these days, and people are warned against this garbage. But anyhow, let's look at these trailers for Intergalactic, where we can see how badly it's being received. On the Naughty Dog channel, at the time of this recording, they have just under 400,000 views and 26,000 likes to 32,000 dislikes. And on IGN, they've got about 250,000 views with about 10,000 likes to 17,000 dislikes. And then the PlayStation YouTube channel has about 500,000 views, and they've got 33,000 likes to 41,000 dislikes. And as I said before, the comments on the PlayStation version of the trailer are absolutely brutal. Let's read some of them. This person said, "I feel like Will Smith will slap me for making fun of her." And then this person wrote, "Can I play as the characters from the background anime instead?" You can really tell this started production in 2020. Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. This game is very 2020, and that was a long time ago, culturally speaking. Anyhow, then this person wrote, "This game is going to make a Concordillion dollars." The most surprising thing about this trailer is that Sony left the comments on. The people buying new Jaguars are gonna have fun with this game, all three of them. The modern audience gonna have a field day with this one. Main objective, finding a wig. Naughty Dog's obsession with muscled up masculine women is getting weirder and weirder, and then this guy said what we're all thinking, somehow Concord returned. Sony was clearly all aboard the woke train a few years back when their echo chamber was telling them it was the thing to do. This is why it is so important to avoid buying most AAA games these days, so we can send the message to these people that this is not the sort of character that we want to see in our video games. Now, if this same game featured, say, Samus from Metroid, I'm pretty sure people would have been excited to some degree. Or if the character looked like Eve from Stellar Blade, she would have been accepted. But this aesthetic, where they are purposely forcing us to play as females without an ounce of femininity to them, well, that shit just ain't gonna fly. They're doing this sort of thing with The Witcher 4 to some degree, as we talked about earlier today, but at least that game has been building towards Ciri being the main character for years. And the built-in audience from the loyal fans of that franchise will support that game to at least some degree. As I like to call them, the cultural auto-intake crowd will spend money on something like The Witcher 4, whether the characters look appealing or not. This is why woke always infests beloved IPs rather than create their own, because new ones are rejected out of hand. With that in mind, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, is going to crash and burn. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your mockery of this turd into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching me, Hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.